Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Ukraine, a question, and what's next. Normally, we start with the question and then answer it. But today, we'll start with some background information. When it comes to the situation in Ukraine, analysts are suggesting that Russia is diverting resources from their offensive in Ukraine to try to stop Ukraine's special military operation in Kursk. The Institute for the Study of War, commonly called ISW, which is a well-respected source covering the conflict, said, quote, "Operational pressure from the Ukrainian incursion in Kursk Oblast are impacting Russian operations in every sector throughout the theater." They also said Russian military command may have redeployed limited elements intended to reinforce Russia's priority offensive operation. It goes on saying directions and towns targeted, and then says, to defend against the Ukrainian incursion in Kursk. That's the background you needed. Here's the question we got. Belle, let me start by saying I'm not telling you to stay in your lane. I'm trying to figure out how you were able to beat ISW to telling us about the diversion of resources and how that would work. Up until today, all the analysts were saying Russia wouldn't divert resources, except for you. I know you've got Bo's phone book and you've done things and know stuff, but you're not Bo. I'm just wondering what's up. Even Bo said ISW was top-notch. First, let's start with this. The people at ISW are top-notch, and they absolutely could have called this ahead of time. I'd actually be very surprised if they didn't have it listed in one of their assessments or articles. But here's the thing. The things most people read from ISW, the maps and the brief summaries, are more like a play-by-play announcer of a football game. They tell you what happened and what might happen next, with a touch of the overall plan to win the game. They have other information products, but they don't seem as widely read. The key thing I'm saying here is that ISW could and probably did call this. Most commentators on the war right now are focused on the tactical or operational levels. The discussion of Ukraine's goals for Kursk kind of got lost in all that. The overall goal isn't operational or tactical, it's strategic level. I would imagine that most commentators could have backed out a level and made this call, but it's not as interesting as the operational stuff or the tactical stuff. In fact, a lot of commentators you watch might have actually made the same call, but since it wasn't the most interesting discussion, it didn't get a lot of views and therefore it didn't get a lot of traction and you never saw it. Okay, so in addition to the information we had about Russia moving some VDV, ISW has additional info about other units moving, showing a trend of taking resources that were intended for Russia's offensive in Ukraine. Russia's other response has been to target civilian infrastructure from the air. They launched massive air responses, so massive in fact that it seems clear that it was designed to be vengeance, not strategic. The costs of the weapons used in these operations are not a cost that Russia can continue to bear. It's a war. Lines will go back and forth. But as of right now, the Kursk special military operation looks to be pretty successful from a strategic standpoint. But again, this still looks like it's a long way from being over. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.